good afternoon, everybody. My name is Brian Finnerty from Macabre Daily, and I am very excited to be here chatting with Maya Annick Bedward, who is the writer and director of a new documentary called Black Zombie. It's premiering at South by Southwest on the 13th of this month. Hey, thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yourself?
Not bad. I'm like super excited to talk to you about this movie because, like, full disclosure, I probably shouldn't say this before I wrote my review, but like, I freaking loved it.
Oh, awesome.
It took me like four tries to actually watch it all the way through because I had to stop myself from taking notes. There's just like so much information in it. And I just like every 2 seconds I wanted to like pause it and like write down a name or write down an event and say, "Oh, I have to research this later. I have to look this up and learn more about it." Um,
Cool.
so I don't know if that was the response you were hoping for from your audiences, but that was my response.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm hoping it's just like the beginning of an interest in a research that people can do and learn more for sure.
Yeah. I was wondering if just to start, would you mind just giving like the quick synopsis about what Black Zombie is about for people listening?
Definitely. So Black Zombie is about the most misunderstood monster of our time, the zombie. And it's looking how the zombie that we all know today as this flesh-eating, mindless monster actually came from Haiti. It's actually a Haitian voodoo metaphor for slavery. So the film is looking at how this like mindless, aggressive monster actually has its roots in like a really important and difficult story, and how it's this like actually it was a victim we could all relate to, this empathetic victim, and how the journey of this transformation and this appropriation of the monster actually um, really was the vehicle in which we learned about voodoo. The Western world learned about voodoo, and it was the reason these early films are the reason we still understand voodoo as this black magic, as this evil practice, when actually it's anything but that. It's like this beautiful religion that's really about healing and empowerment. And so it's looking at that journey and how it happened and why it happened and the repercussions of it.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned the beauty, and I think that was one of the things that resonated with me the most in the movie. I'm sure I'm not alone in saying, like, sadly, most of my knowledge of voodoo comes from media and Hollywood, and it's all dark and, dangerous and scary. What I loved about your movie was that you went out of your way on multiple occasions to just let actual practitioners like take center stage and just we got to just like watch some of the ceremonies, some of the dances, and it's beautiful, like beautifully filmed. And I'm sure it must have been amazing to witness in person.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, exactly what you said. Like for me, the very first thing I knew I wanted to do in the film was to center the voices of Haitian Vodou practitioners in Haiti and in the diaspora. And so I really wanted to feature Vodou, and wanted to feature Haiti in a way that we don't typically see it in the news or in media, and show it for like the incredible practice that it is. And yeah, so I'm glad that you had that impression. And like, I'm not Haitian, and I'm Afro-Caribbean. My dad's from
Mm.
Jamaica. I'm part of the diaspora. But like as a non-Haitian Vodou practitioner, it was really important for me to make sure I was respectful for the tradition, that I honored it, that I
Mm.
celebrated it the way I wanted to. And so like I worked closely with a lot of the practitioners to make sure I was doing that. So it was like a really important part of the film for me.
Yeah, sure. Did I hear you right that you said that you personally are a practitioner?
No, I'm not. I'm
Oh, I'm
like so
sorry, I misheard.
no, I'm not a practitioner. I mean, so like I'm Afro-Caribbean, and I've always been interested in our history and our stories and our culture and traditions like that
Mhm.
haven't been told through a Western lens. And often people say, okay, this history there's no record of it. But
Yeah.
actually there is in our music and our food and our spiritual practices. A lot of the history is recorded and a lot of these stories exist in Vodou and Candomblé and Santeria.
Hmm.
And I thought it was like that's always been a real interest for me and an interest in these spiritual practices. I lived in Brazil for a while for this reason. And so when I found out the connection of the zombie to Haitian Vodou, it blew my mind. And
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to tell this story. I'm not a practitioner, but I've always been very, very interested in these spiritual practices because I think it holds so much of our history, so much of the African diaspora's history here in the
Mhm.
Americas.
Yeah. There was like so much to explore. I was thinking, sadly, there's not a ton of documentaries and movies like on topics like this. I was thinking of one of the few big ones recently, horror noir, which I think a lot of people are familiar with. And while watching your movie, it just made me realize how horror noir, it was awesome, but it was just like the tip of the iceberg in terms of like a cultural exploration of horror through the lens of the Black community. And then your movie just shows how, I mean, God, there's probably opportunity to make a million more movies like this, just taking small subsets um of that experience and delving into it.
Totally. Yeah. And I'd love to see these movies get made. Like, I think there's so much that can be unpacked and explored. And even, I think about a lot of since starting, like I've been working on this film, like I said, for almost 10 years. And since starting, so much has happened. Get Out came out and like, just blew everyone out of the water. Like for so long, people have been told you can't make Black-centered stories, Black-centered horror stories. And then we have this incredible film that just like kills it.
Yeah.
And, this year's Sinners, like, I'd
Mhm.
love to see more Black narratives in horror. Like, they're amazing and there's
Yeah.
so much potential.
Well, that was something I was thinking about. Like, obviously, your movie is rightfully critiquing like all the problematic ways that we have portrayed voodoo and Haitian culture in horror. Um, I was wondering, like, from your perspective, is there room for, I guess, positive representations of this in horror, and or is it almost just like too risky to keep pushing that, given all the history that we have?
Oh, I think there is. I think Sinners does a really interesting job at looking at
Mhm.
hoodoo and Black spirituality in the South and the Americas. And like that's not the thing you fear in the film. Like it's actually one of the tools for understanding. And I think that's just it. It's like we have to stop using voodoo as the thing we fear. Like, if you really understand the history, if you really understand the culture and you respect the traditions, you
Mhm.
won't use these things as the element to fear, the thing you're othering. Like, if you're coming at it from a place of real knowing and understanding, you're going to use it in a much more positive but powerful and impactful way to tell some really important stories. So I do think there is, and I would love to see more Black filmmakers, more Haitian filmmakers supported in making these stories. Like I think that really needs to happen.
Yeah.
But I think there is an opportunity for it for sure. But you have to know its origin. You have to know what's happened. You have to understand that history, and you have to really be respectful of the tradition and have those intentions going in.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I think there's so much material to mine to create some amazing stories. We just yeah, need to give people the chance to do it. Um,
Hmm.
Another thing I was wondering as I was watching, like a lot of my focus in my writing is on the intersection of queerness and horror, and something that I hear from a lot of LGBT people is that similarly, there's a lot of really problematic representation in Hollywood and in horror in general. But a lot of queer people talk about they're able to recognize the harm and then also find a way to enjoy the really schlocky and stereotyped portrayals of them. And I guess I was curious for your perspective on that. Like, are you able to watch any of these movies like White Zombie and still, or like The Serpent and the Rainbow, and still find any enjoyment from them? Um, or is it just like rage fuel?
I mean, some of them are just so ridiculous. That's a great question. I mean, some of like when it's like these super racist tropes, like no,
Mhm.
it's like it's hard. Like Serpent and the Rainbow, it's like, oh my God, it's insane. I mean, there's a lot of like lore and stories around that film, and actually, one of the people I worked with on the project, um, he Jay Cheel, he worked on a show. He created a show called Cursed Films, and he did like a whole piece on the making of that film, which I think is an episode worth watching. The
Okay.
Cursed Films, Serpent and the Rainbow. But yeah, like sometimes it just feels so over the top. That said, though, like this film, so before I made this film, I didn't really watch a lot of horror. And then when I started doing research for this film, I had to watch like every single zombie film that was
I'm
ever
sure.
made. And then, I even in the making of this film met my partner who's a horror guy. Like I didn't know anything about horror, but then as I started watching more and getting more into it, like I could see there's like so many amazing and meaningful stories in the genre as well. And it really opened up my eyes and I became way more open to watching horror. And now I love it. And so I think like I still want stories that are mindful and have good intentions, but like I definitely the genre itself I think has so much power and importance and can do so much for bad, but also for good. And so I have a new appreciation for the
Yeah.
genre for sure.
I think like
I was
genre
like,
films. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Oh
Um,
no, no, it's fine.
like genre films in general, and particularly horror, I've always said there's almost like two levels you can watch it at. There's like so much deeper meaning to mine from it, and that's awesome, and I love doing that. And then sometimes there's a time and a place to just watch some really campy, atrociously acted, maybe slightly offensive horror film, and just feel like this is a wild ride. I'm gonna go along with it. Um,
Yeah. But would it be great if it was like sloppy and campy, but like not offensive?
yes, yes. Like,
Maybe
why can't
more of
they?
that. Maybe we just need more of the non-offensive stuff.
Exactly. I know there's a million questions I could ask you. My mind's spinning with your film, but I wanted to make sure to highlight just some of the really important names of the people that you talked about in the film. Um,
Mhm.
and I apologize if I mispronounce anyone's name, but Yves Gregory Francois and Errol Zozue and La Belle
Josue.
Nice. Um,
Yes.
were they just incredible people to spend time with when you made this movie? They seem fascinating.
Totally. Like, I started working with Yves Gregory, like at the beginning of making this film. I went down to Haiti and worked with an incredible crew that was Haitian, based in Jacmel, and they're friends with Gregory, and he's a voodoo priest, and he kind of like um showed me a lot of his community. I hung out with him at like the rah-rahs and I mean like voodoo's like it's like an everyday practice. It's like
Mm.
in every like so many little everyday things and then they have this like these beautiful cultural festivals and events and it was awesome and he's like fun to go and party with. I mean like a lot of it's a party too.
Yeah.
Like it's and then La Belle déesse like she's just I mean she's on a mission to really like change the narrative about voodoo and she's from
Mhm.
Haiti but based in Montreal now and she just like was so generous in her time and really like believed in the project and supported in such a way and then Elad who's like this fabulous like artist and musician and yeah like what he gave us we shot one of the scenes of him performing um, a, a piece that was inspired by his traditions and his practice in what was a former sugarcane mill and was kind of this
Oh yeah.
like
With that
taking of the
amazing
energy
white garb that
dress
he was
and
wearing. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like taking, the energies of that space and the dark energies of that space and the horrific things that have happened there, but like, finding healing through voodoo and through his practice and through his performance. So that was like, I was not, I didn't know what he was going to do. I told him we were going to go here and maybe he could like
Okay.
do some type of performance because he is an artist. But like what he did was incredible with the sun setting and it was just really, really beautiful. So yeah, what a privilege. And I'm really grateful that they trusted with me with telling this story.
Absolutely. And I loved that you gave him a moment toward the end of the film. You kind of like turned the perspective on yourself and kind of asked him like basically like what do you think of the story I'm telling? And gave him the space to actually like express reservations, which I think anybody would have when they're like handing their story over to somebody. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
definitely. It was an
for my
important moment
money,
for me.
yeah, for my money, you handled it incredibly. Such a well told and just fascinating movie. I know we are coming to the end of our time, so I want to be respectful of the other people you have to chat with. But thank you so much, and reminding people that Black Zombie will be available or is premiering at South by Southwest this Friday the 13th, right?
Yes, it is this Friday,
Yeah.
13th.
And what better day for a horror movie to premiere?
Yeah.
Is there
It was
someplace
great
where
talking to you,
people,
Brian.
yeah, is there someplace where people could find you if they want to connect or find out more?
Yeah, they could follow the Instagram for the film. We just started it. It's called Black Zombie Movie.
Mhm.
And there we'll be posting updates and places where the film will be showing, and they can find spots to see it in their own backyard.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, again, thank you so much for your time and yeah, enjoy the festival.
Thank you.
Bye.